depends on events which we
yes.
attended. I mean, the main trend is AI, Leo. Everything is with AI.
There is only one trend.
Correct.
There is
The answer is correct.
You cannot imagine how many startups on Web Summit were about we offer AI agent, but not. It's something like every second startup was generated by an LLMs there. Some kind of AI agent doing this, solving the business issue, or AI agent like doing the medical analysis. That's the biggest trend. That's really half of, if not more of stands there or about this. And very rare it's something really good, because there are some companies that are doing something really cool with AI, like I'm gonna mispronounce it, Hakicheria.
Hakicheria.
That will do this from prompt generating the 3D spaces. This is really cool, but in most cases you see that it's a GPT wrapper.
Yes, it's what Kirill is telling at the end. What these days the people is doing is adding the AI word to whatever thing that they were doing before. So, at the end is you have a business and you are doing your business, your current business, but what you're doing now is you are adding the AI word. So, I don't know. A podcast with AI, with AI. I don't know. A microphone with AI. So it's the same thing that you were doing before, but now adding AI. So like a plus. And it's something that is what we're talking the other day, because if you search on Google, always Google works using AI. So it's impossible that you do Google search and it's not AI. And you never saw this Google search with AI. So, it was there. So you don't need to put AI. So you need to create a very good product that people like. And you don't need to say if there is AI or there is not AI, unless that you need this AI. That is something fantastic thing. Because imagine, you cannot say ChatGPT without AI, because for sure that you need to understand what it is the problem. But if you have an application, for example, that help people to find HR tool, that is helping to find developers to companies, you only need to sell a company that is selling developers. So I have a company, this tool is helping you to find developers. It's the best tool in the world, and you prove to me. You don't need to put AI in the sentence. For me, at least for me. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, and now, but okay, it's what you see. And I've been in many events this year, and everyone is AI, and it's crazy because it's something with AI, not AI.
Yes, something with AI. And one of the investors, VC investors, I don't remember the name. Like he said something like software equals AI today. I'm not entirely sure this is true, but I see how many companies are integrating AI in their software. Not necessarily they create AI, but with new things. Do you think, Maks, you've been talking a lot about artificial intelligence on recent Canvas 24. Do you think by adding artificial intelligence into your project, you are responding to your customer needs? This is something that you do, right? As account executive, your job is to fully understand your client's needs and determine basically whether your business can meet their needs. So by adding AI to your project, do you think you answer to their needs or you try to follow the hype?
Yeah. I'm a bit of an AI skeptic. I don't use it that much, to my shame, in my day-to-day, where I could have used it more, I think. And I was always a little allergic to the hype around AI.
Interesting.
But I think we got something there. I think we got something that resonates with my customers. So from the first reactions that we're seeing, the reception is quite positive. And I think the difference in how Miro approaches it to what like a product plus AI that Pablo alluded to might look like is that we are actually looking to build it in at very specific slots of the workflow. So very pointed places where something like AI is actually needed. So to give you an example, Miro is great for the messy part of work, the discovery phase, where you kind of try and brainstorm different ideas and come up with solutions and try to understand, is it the right problem that we're solving? So bringing different expertise, different stakeholders together and just doing a huge brain dump. And usually that looks like a pile of sticky notes on a canvas. And then someone needs to go and formulate a very structured document out of it, because companies don't work in this sort of format. They can't look at the pile of sticky notes and think, okay, we can do something with it. Like eventually you need to turn it into a set of tasks and timelines and product briefs and other sort of artifacts and deliverables that traditional businesses operate with. Like in many with many of my customers, if it is not in PowerPoint, it doesn't exist. So they need to find a way to turn it into a presentation that at some point some executive will see, because this is how they speak, this is how they work. So what we can do now with AI is select all of those sticky notes and turn that into a structured document. And we have different pre-built prompts depending on what you're looking to do there. So a lot of the time, the teams that are using Miro are doing that to generate a product brief. And that's one of the few prompts that we've added, where you essentially just create a little button, a little widget on that board, and you click that once, and then it generates a document for you. And it's a structured document, just like Google Docs, with formatting, with multiplayer, collaborative editing, comments, everything you want. But you've just saved someone a horrible 1 hour of just meticulously going through every single one and trying to kind of make sense out of those and then remove duplicates. And so those parts of work that don't really feel rewarding, I think this is where it's great if we can optimize that with the use of AI, and especially if it's about language, if it's about text. The things that LLMs are really great at, where they don't need to create something new necessarily, but they're just taking your thoughts and then they're putting that into a different format. So that's one of the examples where we've built AI, implemented AI, and I feel like, it's much different than just adding like a little chatbot on the side that you'll switch to and ask something, and then you continue on working as you normally would with it.
Yeah, like, okay, Miro, generate me some ideas.
But there's space for that too, right? How do you build it so that people don't need to switch their mode of working? How do you build it right into the process of work itself? I think this is the big question and a big North Star for us in terms of implementing AI in the right way.
This reminded me a bit of how I utilize ChatGPT. I basically do the same what you just described, especially when I get prepared to the podcast and I'm trying to assemble my script. I enable audio on ChatGPT and I start talking to it. I basically say to it, I will be spamming your ideas and whatnot, basically talking to myself. Your task is to listen to me, and when I finish, I will tell you that I finished, because this session usually split into multiple inputs. And when I tell you that I finished, you need to analyze what I just said and find and basically provide me a structured text with ideas, discussion points, takeaways, things like that for me, just to give me a structured document from what just I said. And I can keep talking for several days, adding ideas, adding notes, and in the end, I have my maybe short, but structured list of ideas. And this works great. I like this feature a lot. And I think this example of usage of artificial intelligence in the tool, it's very compelling. At the same time, I have some skepticism about adding these tools into team collaboration tools, that the main goal of which is to make teams generate ideas, work better, work more efficiently. And by adding artificial intelligence, I think that we might be stealing this part and make us lazy and giving away part of the most interesting part of collaboration, when we talk to other people, when we ideate together. I'm afraid at some point we will give away this most interesting part to artificial intelligence, and that's what I mentioned, like generate me ideas. Instead of talking to people, we will do that. Do you think there is a possibility for that?
I think we all need to learn how to use it right. And I think there's time and space for both the hard and meticulous sort of individual, focused thinking and creating, but also when you are losing that flow, when you are stuck, or if you are just struggling to get into the flow of creative work and you need some inspiration, I think this is maybe where an AI sidekick or an AI agent might be a good thing. To give you an example that's completely outside of the scope of tech, I also on the side, I've been creating music for some time, and
Mm-hmm.
I've always been like a diehard fan of like I need to do everything myself. If I'm sampling, I need to find the vinyl record and I need to sample this piece and clean it up and like chop it into samples and then so on and so forth. And sometimes people just download a library of loops and achieve the same result way, way faster. And I always thought, this is just fake. This is not me. Like, why would you do that? You're losing out on all of the magic of the creativity. But in reality, what matters is the finished product. And if it sounds great and people like it, then who am I to say that some people are, skipping steps? So if you're able to skip steps and just get a great result and maybe focus on what you do best, which is maybe I'm great at keyboard, which I'm not, but if you're enjoying it, great. But yeah, if you need some outside help, and this is another thing where I think Miro is actually like, it really resonates with me how they implemented that and how they kind of position it. Sometimes you just can't get everyone together. Like you need stakeholders from like with different expertise, and there's one person missing. Like imagine you don't have your Scrum Masters or your Agile coach is not able to join your retrospective, but you still need to run it. Otherwise, you're going to waste, the rest of this day or tomorrow. Or you need a designer to put together a prototype and they're backlogged for 2 weeks. This is where I think it's actually quite okay to use some sort of an agent where you say, okay, we don't have the best, but we can have something that will move us to the next step, will help us progress to the next step. So we have AI sidekicks, what we call, where we can select, again, a bunch of sticky notes and say, hey, generate a prototype for me from this, or look at these ideas and help us analyze this in a retrospective way. What can we do better? What went well? What went wrong? Things like that. So I think that's like trying to find the right balance between where you really focus on the human interactions versus, hey, we're just taking way too long to accomplish this step. We're all burned out. We really don't want to be here anymore, but we really need to wrap it up because otherwise we can't go to the next step.